Right, I am just waiting for everything to come on.
Welcome. Right.
And you can hear everything in
Waiting for
double sound. I just wanted to make sure it was live, so I had my phone on. So I do apologise for that. But welcome, welcome. Lovely to have you here again on a Tuesday evening at 7 p.m. So I've got some really exciting things to be able to share with you tonight out of the new annual catalogue. Something that I hadn't noticed in the catalogue that was shown on a live by Sarah, our CEO, and it's very exciting. So I'd like to share that with you tonight, and the beautiful, gorgeous soft pastels. So if anyone knows me, they know that I absolutely love anything to do with colouring. So really wanted to share that with you as well. So welcome, Karen here from KarenHadler.com, and I am now going to switch over and we will get started. So let me grab the right camera. Hi Shani, welcome. Just switching over cameras. Welcome, welcome. So thank you so much for stopping in. Sorry about the double sound earlier, but I just wanted to hi Lynette, welcome, lovely to see you. So lovely to have everyone here. Now this is the set that I am talking about. Now I don't know if you've seen it, but this is something very special and very new. It is the Art in Bloom, and it is called a hybrid set. So something really special that you can do with the embossing folder and with the dies. So very innovative and actually super amazing. So I can't wait to show you that. And the other thing that we will be looking at tonight is these gorgeous pastels, as I was saying just a moment ago. These soft pastels. Now, I think I have been told these have been out with Stampin' Up many years ago, but I wasn't around then. And everyone who has talked about them said they absolutely love them. So I've had so much fun having a play with them since I got them, and they really are fun to use. So let's pop that to one side. This is the stamp set. I love these little extra bits in the stamps, these lines and dots. They really can add some interesting elements to your projects. And it is a two-step stamping stamp set. So fantastic for using these stamps if you're not someone that actually likes to colour things in. This is the embossing folder. So it embosses. This is the how it turns out if you just emboss straight, basically, with the flowers and the leaves. And these are the dies. So you get a lovely long label die and a ticket die and some leaves, some flowers, and the 3 flowers that we're going to be stamping. So that comes as one stamp. And so the die is one die to cut those out as well. Okay, so let's pop them. I have pre-stamped this, and I like to use my Stamper Artist when I have got a large stamp. I just find it easier to get a good accurate inking. Now this has turned very black now because I have been using stays on with it, and even though I have cleaned it really well, it does tend to stain the stamps, but it still works perfectly fine. It does just stain the stamps a little bit, but it's not something you need to worry about, in the sense that it still works fine. Now I have used shimmery white paper. Now the reason for this is I am going to sort of do a little bit of watercolouring, but aside from that, when we are colouring with the pastels, the other way to colour it is by using these blend pens, blender pen, and if you rub too hard on them, some of the other papers, the basic whites, etc., they do tend to pill a little bit, and this does work a lot better. So let me introduce you next to the pastels. So they come in these blocks here. And I think they'll last a long time, actually, because I've been using them and they haven't really gone down very fast, I must admit. Now, the colours is Coastal Cabana, Daffodil Delight, Gorgeous Grape, Granny Apple Green, Mango Melody, Mossy Meadow, Night of Navy, and Poppy Parade. So you've got a really good range of colours. But of course, you know how to, or we all know how to mix colours together to get different, like greens, the blues and the yellows, etc. So you can mix them to attain the different colours that you might need. So I'm just going to do a couple of ways tonight to show you. So let's start off with the blender pens. I am going to just show you, now these do tend to dry out, these pens, so make sure when you pick one up that it's actually a good moist pen. And I should have had a bit of scrap paper, yes I have, because I will need to wipe that off. So for example, all you have to do is rub into this, you just leave it in the foam box there, and you just pick it up and you add it to your paper, and you just keep lifting it up and adding it. As easy as that, and the more colour you add, of course, the more intense it will be. And when you want to change the colour, just give it a good wipe, get the colour off. And if I was to use, say, red this time, you just go in there then with the red. Now, once you let it dry, you can then come back and add a bit more to give you shading, as you would with most colouring. And just add a little bit more here. It's real red, but it actually looks quite orangey, doesn't it? So that is with the blends, the blender pens, which I do really like. It is quite a strong pigment, so you do need to really give them a good wipe. See, that's still coming off. There we go. Okay, now the next exciting thing that I want to show you with these is if you use your silicone mat. Now, I'm sure I'm showing you a couple of things tonight, but there is probably so many more. Now, if you take your spatula end of your Pick Me tool and you pick a colour, say I'm going to pick this blue, and you just shave some of the pastel onto your silicone mat. And then if you get your water painter, and just make sure it's lovely and wet, you do need to add a bit of water there. There you go. Mix it in. Now it's the same when you're watercolouring. You can draw it off and make it a little bit softer, or add more to make it darker. And then you just add it. Isn't that amazing? I just really think this is just such a versatile medium to work with. Now, the other thing you can do with it, in actual fact, is when you've scraped the powder like this, you can use that to mix in with your embossing paste. And that will colour your embossing paste and give you some beautiful colours in your embossing paste. So just an absolute wonderful way to add so much colour. And I'm just doing this a little bit fast. So when this dries, I could go back and add some more colour for depth. And I'll just add a little bit of this Coastal Cabana. honestly, these are going to be such a cost-effective way of adding colour to your project. These are going to last for so long. Even when I scrape it and I've been using them, I haven't hardly used much of the colour at all. Right, let's just give that. Oh, you didn't know how to use them. Oh, okay, Nikki. Well, welcome from the Netherlands. Thank you. And yes, I've just been having a play and yes, just having different ways of using them. And they are so much fun and really, really beautiful. The colour, as you can see, is just so intense. You can just add some wonderful colour to your projects. I've really, really enjoyed it. Oh, welcome, Denise. Thank you. Yes, they're very new to me as well. Hi, Vicky from Sydney. Thank you so much for popping in. Yes, so it's a big learning curve for me, and that's why I wanted to share it, actually, because it was something new, and I've just been having a play, and I haven't got the embossing paste add to it, but that is another fantastic way to use these pastels. So you can use them, as I say, directly from here, or you can just scrape them as I did with the spatula onto your silicone mat and add colour that way. So the next step for us now, like you would finish colouring these, I would finish before you did the next step. Now you don't need to colour them if you wanted them white, but this is how this fantastic new folder and die works. Oh, thank you. Very kind. Right, so I have also been having a play with this and trying to figure out the best way to do this as well. Now, I don't know if anyone there has been having a play with this yet either, but what I found for me is I lined my stamp up first. So make sure that I got it nice and straight in the right place by just looking through here, and when it all lined up perfectly well, I just used a couple of bits of washi tape, which I've now stuck onto my folder. Hi, Gina. Yes, the pastels, aren't they gorgeous? Just love them. Okay, so I then take that on so it's in the right place. Now, the next thing, well, that's probably moved now, but I just want to show you this 3 flower die, which you can add just straight like this to run through your big shot or your cut and emboss machine, or this has been specially designed that you can pop it in here. Now you just wiggle it around and you will know when it locks in, because it actually locks. There it is. So it locks in and it won't move, and you know, whoops, I've just taken it out again. And once it does that, there, so it's locked in place now. And then you can feel, because when you try and wiggle it like this, it actually doesn't move at all. And then I place this down onto the flowers as such, and then you run it through your machine just like you would if you were using an embossing folder. So you use your large plate number 1 and you use your grey number 4, and you just run that through the machine, and then it comes out, it cuts out these 3 flowers, which I have pre-coloured. The other thing I wanted to say about the pastels, actually, which I have added on there, you can use them direct, just like a crayon, and add just directly. Now, this is something where I've just added it directly just to show you. So you can just add a little bit of soft, delicate colour by just using this as a direct colouring tool. So as I say, there's so many ways to play with these. You don't dare take them on vacation in southern France. You're camping. Oh, okay. That could be, yeah. Though you could take our new kids on camping. That would be perfect. So these flowers are all coloured, and I've got a base here. And I have got a thick, I keep going to say base, Whisper White, of course, a thick basic white card base, and I have used a Coastal Cabana matte on here, and this is the embossed. I've just white embossed this, and I want to add, before I adhere that, I want to add some flecks of, now I could have used the powder with some water on it to flick on my white cardstock, but I actually really enjoy using the blend pens, and that's because I feel I have a little bit more control over the flicking than I do when I use water. So that is my sort of preferred way to add some of these spots, dots, whatever you want to call them, and it just really is quite quick and easy to add them. And of course we have most colours, so you can coordinate really easily. Okay, now I'm going to glue that onto there. So it just adds a little bit more interest to that white. You can see that. Okay, so a little bit of glue. So what time is it in France at the moment? It is 7:17 in the evening here. So I'm going to only use a couple of these. And let me see, I might use this one, I think. And maybe this one. I'm going to pop those on there. So I've used the Coastal Cabana in the centre here, and the Night of Navy on the outside. It doesn't come up really like, is it Night of Navy? I could be putting you wrong there. Hang on, I think it is Night of Navy, but it doesn't come out as dark as the ink does. Yes, Night of Navy. Just had me confused a little bit because it doesn't look quite as dark, does it? Okay. Let me get some dimensionals. 9:15 in the morning. Oh, that's quite reasonable time, in the 9:15 in the morning. And grandkids are at school already. Oh, that's good. Do you take them to school? Oh, thank you, Gina. I look after my grandbabies on a Thursday. I've got one, she's just about to turn 3, and a 10-month-old boy. We live in a fabulous house here in Puhoi in Auckland, which is like it's 2 houses sort of joined together. We have our own separate living sort of areas, and they my daughter and her husband and my grandchildren live down one end, and my husband and myself and my youngest live down the other. So I am very, very blessed to be able to see my grandchildren every day. So it makes me so, so happy. Right. Now I have pre-done some of this. These are watercoloured, but the colour is just so beautifully intense, isn't it, with the pastels. I just love how these turned out. Right. And I have cut out, and I haven't used this colour for ages actually, some leaves in olive green, old olive, I should say. And I thought that went quite well with that. And so I have used those 2 stamps that I showed you in the stamp set just to add some interest on these strips that I'm going to put on. So I've stamped off, and I have got one in, this is Night of Navy stamped off, and this is Coastal Cabana stamped off. So I'm just going to pop a little bit of glue. Okay. And add that to there. Oops. I want to stay. Of course, it's not going to be this long. I'm going to trim it down. And I'm going to pop that. I'm going to pop that there. So let's put some dimensionals on that. I might use the small ones for this. Just run it down the middle. Where would we be without our dimensionals? It's probably enough. And then I'm going to just pop those leaves underneath. We've had the worst. We had a long weekend this weekend, and it did not stop raining the whole weekend. It was very, very wet. Okay. So let's grab my scissors. So a lot of time spent indoors this weekend, but there's nothing wrong with that. And it's not very straight. There we go. And I'm going to add some leaves. So I like to just pop my flowers, if I'm going to add leaves, up on dimensionals like this. And then I'm just going to add the leaves by popping a little bit of glue on them. Don't the colours of the pastels bleed? No. I found when I was using them with like the blue flowers and the yellow hearts. No, I've used these with the pastels, and I just blended them together. And don't seem to bleed. I didn't find they bled at all, actually. So I have only put the dimensionals on the inside of the flower around the center so that I can pop these leaves in. And put one there. And one more. And I know what I forgot to bring over to add to this, which I would always add, of course, is some embellishments. So you'll just have to picture that, the embellishments added, because I forgot to bring them over. And I'm not going to, oh, do they bleed? Seeing as like there's no green. There is a green, there is one green with the granny apple green, and this is Mossy Meadow. So there are two greens. But if you mix the two colours, if you got some powders, some yellow powder and some green, you could get another green, another shade of green if you wanted. Okay, so last thing is the bow. Oops. And I'm just going to add that. So if you like colouring, like I do, love colouring, anything that's to do with colouring, then these are certainly worth getting. They are so wonderful. They're so versatile, so many ways of using them that you will absolutely love them. Okay, the glue dot, and I'm just going to add that to there. And of course, as I say, I'm going to put some gorgeous gems on there, but I haven't brought them over. I do apologise, but I definitely would have gems on there. So that is using the pastels and the amazing Art in Bloom hybrid set. Absolutely amazing. Both of these are amazing. So this is doing the flower in Coastal Cabana and Night of Navy. I have done another one here, similar, but in using the gorgeous grape and on Mossy Meadow. And this is a card that I did recently at a team meeting that Jackie Williams did with a bacon tape for us to create. So that's just die cutting the flower straight out of the embossing folder and leaving it as one and just popping the flowers up as on dimensionals to make them really pop out. So that is definitely another way that you can use it. And yes, so I hope you have enjoyed. Thank you so much for your beautiful words, and I'm so pleased that you like the card. I really enjoyed playing with the pastels, and I really would recommend that you give it a go. I know, isn't it so vibrant, Shani? Absolutely vibrant. I just love the intensity of the colours that you can make them. So where did I put the other ones that I did, because that was the red as well. I must have popped it somewhere else that don't know where it's gone now. Oh well, it's gone. Oh, there it is. It's in the folder, isn't it? Just to show you the red. So that was the red as well. So do give it a go. Thank you so much for stopping by, and I would love to see you all again next week. Take care, and I will pop information in the comments in regards to these products. Have a lovely day or evening. Bye.